Hey Robert, okay, here's the unit. Basically your railroad crossing sign up top is swiveled, so you can swivel around. Right now I have the boxcar showing. The other side will be the railroad sign. Motion sensor is set up right now, so as soon as I move, you'll see how the motion sensor is on. If you have the white light on, that means the wireless remote is not activated. Here's two switches. Bottom one is for the motion sensor, top one is for the bell. So now when we move, the bell will go on and off. You'll hear how loud it is, so if you don't want it on all the time, but it activates with the motion sensor and the wireless remote. So now if I move again, you'll see how that activates it. So I'm going to switch the bell off real quick here so I can talk a little better. So now I'm going to show you where I'm talking about if your wireless remote is on, and like it says this is on and off. I'll give you two of them. We'll switch it on. If we switch it on with the motion sensor still working, see, we're going to hold on for a minute and it'll shut off. Okay, the white light on there on the bottom. So now we're going to activate the wireless remote. White light's off, but now that will stay on all the time. Motion sensor and the wireless remote is hooked in series of the same system. So now if you want the wireless remote to activate on and off, that's what you'll do this. Okay, on, off, on, off. Now, if you don't want the motion sensor activated, because like right now, if I move, motion sensor took over. So what you do is you flip the bottom switch, that shuts off the motion sensor. Then you'll be able to work just the wireless remote, on, off. Okay? Fairly simple. Once you start using it, you'll understand it. But if the white light is on, that means the wireless remote is off. White light off, motion sensor is the working one once you switch the switch on. Okay, now on the gate, I'm going to turn this back on. Now in the gate, I have an 8-foot ceiling in the shop here. So I'm going to make a little longer bar here. You move the crossing arm up, there's a switch, proximity switch, which shuts it off. Basically it'll shut off the gate about almost 8 feet, but I'm hitting the ceiling. So that's what I was saying, to make this stowed all the way up to the crossing, you're going to need at least a 10-foot ceiling. I'll do a final picture outside, but then if you're going to do any of it, you have to cut the back part of the crossing down here to make the bar shorter, but you got to watch the wiring loom that's in there. So that's what I was saying, if you want to do it before we ship it out, I need to know from the floor to your top of your ceiling. That way I can make the gate arm so it'll be stowed. That's what I was explaining. So once you go down, lights will go on, and when it goes all the way up, lights will go off, but everything else will be on. So plus it'll have a locking pin, so once you're all the way up, it'll lock in place so nobody can mess with the gate to have it go down. The gate assembly is adjustable. It's set at about 3.5 feet. You can go down or up higher if you want. I'll show you all the brackets. That's the control box. Everything will be wired inside the pole. I'm just doing a final adjustment for it so you can see how everything's working. Motion sensor, if you want to go silver or black, I'll send you the pictures. Some people go with the full black, some go with the silver. So that is set up with the silver right now. Well, like it says, you're sorry for the shaking. My hands are really hurting lately. But railroad sign, it spins. So the railroad crossing sign will be on the back side. If you spin it, it'll be on the front side. And then that's the other sign. That Did that sign. I always like doing it to cover up the mechanism for the railroad gate so it looks cleaner. And then the control box will be mounted on the back side down, and then that's your base. I like using that base for railroad crossing gates because you're moving it up and down, and it'll keep the pole solid because there's 2 adjustment screws to lock it in place, and then the plate, you mount it right to the floor. Versus the plastic one, you're only looking at maybe inch and a half to hold the gate on to the floor, and it's not that sturdy. Now on your bell, like it says, okay, so right now we're gonna hit the off button. Top button is the bell. Same thing on the motion sensor. So we're gonna use the motion sensor right now. You can see the light on for the wireless remote. There you go. There's your motion sensor for the bell and the lights. Now I moved a little, it triggered it back on. So see, it shuts off, move, it goes back on. So now, if you want to use the wireless remote, just flip the switch off, leave your bell switch on, and then you can use the wireless remote for on off. We'll get everything painted up and then do one final video. And then send that out with pictures and that. But let me know on the gate arm. I'd rather shorten it myself before I ship it out, because if you nail the wiring loom, then you're gonna have a problem. But it's up to you. But like it says, this is 8-foot ceiling, and it nowhere near for the stowed. Sorry, like I said about the shaking, but let me know. This is Bart with Mad Dogs Trains. Thank you.